We live in a world where footballers make mistakes. For the first time, I can say I'm up there with professional athletes. For I made a mistake, assuming that, given we don't tend to play for more than 20 minutes a week, going a goal down away at Weymouth was yet another 3 points dropped. I've learnt from this, and in the quest to become the man I know I can be, we'll refrain from getting a bit miffed until at least the 71st minute again in the Aldershot game. That is my apology.
Hello.
There we go.
Thank you for joining us for the semi-acceptable sound of the Scarf Bergara War, the show for county fans by county fans. So if you're expecting me to apologise for talking absolute shit, you can jog on. We've only got an hour, so that's not happening. If anyone's expecting me to apologise, that's not happening. And Nick over there is an apologetic, dare I say, chastised, even contrite Russ Johnson. Now, let the listeners into the story for those unfamiliar, because you can't just get away that easily with your behaviour. Because people might...
You want me to tell everybody?
Yeah. What did you do?
Yeah. Well, 1-0. At 1-0 down against Weymouth, I tweeted that this was not good enough to lose against a team that only get 800 a week, and it's just not good enough. And then we got the equaliser, so I tweeted again, just drawing against a team that only get 800 a week is not good enough. And then we started winning. So I was going, well, only just beating a team that only get 800 a week is just not good enough.
How are you besides that, mate? You all right?
I'm hunky-dory. Yes, hunky-dory.
Yeah,
cheers.
Yeah. You're definitely hunky. I don't know about dory, but hunky.
Yeah, I feel like I am dory. I'm hunky and I forget things. So
I've dispensed with the shirt for this week. I've gone for the Scandinavian knitwear.
Nice.
So after this, I'm going to be staring at fjords while waiting for some DNA results and ignoring my family. Right. So now for our guest tonight, County have a long-standing history with the Geordie people. Now, with that in mind, our guest tonight is probably our second favourite County Geordie, although there's Tommy Sword. And then there's Tony
third. I will take third. Third, Nick and Vince.
There's Glenn Taylor as well. Look, he's a top Geordie and a top County fan to boot. It's Jonathan the Geordie Hatter. How are you doing, mate?
Thank you. I'm very glad you didn't put me behind Ian Bogie as well, by the way, because he could have been.
Oh yeah.
Let's not mention him again. I'm very, very pleased and honoured and excited to be on the show. I really am. So it's just great. It's just great to be here, lads. It really is. Yeah.
Excellent. It's good to have you. Yeah. You've been doing some cool stuff, which we will talk about a bit later on. But first, over to you, Rustifer. What's coming up tonight?
Well, we've done the apology, so yeah, apologies again for the
apology. What were you apologising for again?
No, that's not go there. No, we'll talk about the Weymouth win, and we'll look forward to Aldershot at the weekend. We've got the Elston appointment to cover, the FA Cup match against Stamford, and if we've got time, we might even look at how our supposedly title rivals are doing and how they've had a start now. We're nearly 10 games into the season.
Yeah, there was a couple of humdingers last night. For people who like old words.
There was. So, shall we run titles? So, let's start with Weymouth. The reason for my apology, 2-1 away win at Weymouth. What do you reckon?
You look positively cock-a-hoot with being wrong. It's just, if you will be constantly negative, then this will happen to you. This is what happens. If you're just happy-go-lucky, just happy to go along with everything, like me, then maybe things would be different. Yeah. Maybe you won't be having to spend your Wednesdays crafting an apology.
This is true. No, I must admit, I don't know about you, Jonathan. Is it okay to call you John? Maybe?
Yes. Jonathan or John, absolutely fine. Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah. Maybe I was getting a bit irate in that Weymouth match. In fact, just before we get into that, because I will get 5 minutes or 10 minutes in, and remember, if you are watching live, do comment. We can see your comments. We'll read some out. Usual listeners, Ian Dowden's online. Hi, mate. Glad to see you watching. So do comment, like, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're watching, and do that. And just comment and get involved. So yeah, the Weymouth match. I must admit, I was getting a bit miffed.
I was the same. I'm going to admit it. I would have been close to needing to make a full and frank apology myself if I'd been broadcasting any of my thoughts online. I actually went down to watch because I don't like to be in the house on Saturday afternoon. I had to get out for the football. You know what I mean? Obviously, I wasn't going to Dorset, so I've actually went to watch Cheadle Heath Nomads, which is quite near to where I am here in Kale Green, and so I must have cut a strange figure because the first half I was following on Twitter, kind of swearing and muttering as especially when the goal went in, and then the second half I couldn't take it anymore, that level of detachment. So I was basically watching the game with these headphones on, with me listening to JK on the commentary, and nothing was happening in midfield at all in the game in front of us, or 50 people in a dog watching, and then suddenly County equalised, and I just leapt in the air, and as a guy beside me went, "Are you all right? Are you okay?" And I had to explain. I said, "Oh, County have just scored," But
I'm from Cheadle. We're all like that in Cheadle. We look too out of place. We're all walking around muttering, looking at our phones.
But no, I was pretty despondent at half time, especially, and JK was so flat in the second half. I think it's been said online and stuff, hasn't it? It didn't feel to me as if we were about to get back into the game until the substitutions were made, and then suddenly there was that energy, and you start to have some hope. But yeah, that was me. That was how it felt for me, anyway.
Yeah, same really. Just half time, I just thought, oh no, here we go. Especially given they were a team who had the measure of us last season as well.
Yeah,
did a double over us.
That is a positive, isn't it? If we're going to draw positives from that first half,
yeah.
I mean, the reason why I got irate was it came out in that tweet. Really, was all right. They get 800 a week. They lost 4 on the bounce.
Mm-hmm.
Weymouth, so they were there for the taking. If we've got any sort of ambitions of doing well in this division this season, they were there for the taking, and I was expecting us to do that from the start.
That's the thing. You hear people saying it's a sign of a good team that winning when you're not playing well. So I get but at the same time, the type of team you say that about is like the Man City, But every other week, the steamroller in the teams they should be, and that's our problem. We're not doing that.
So I agree with that.
Saturday's the first big test of that. Aldershot at home. That's the type of game we really should be winning.
Yeah, you can't win you don't look back on a team that's won the league and say they won the league by winning 30 games without playing well. They used to say that about the great Liverpool teams in the 80s, didn't they? Yeah. Because it was exceptional when they didn't play well, but they still win. Whereas County, I guess, kind of haven't really given us 90 minutes of quality football yet in the season, and that's reflected in the results, even the wins a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah, and I guess well, when I started to think about it as well, the win against Weymouth it's actually decent, when you consider that if they'd have beat us, they'd have gone above us. So they've had a similar start to us. I know they've lost 4 on the bounce. They must have had a good start before that. So it probably, in terms of the starts of the season and where how they were playing, we've probably done well to win it. To be fair.
The draw against Notts County, hadn't it? That was the one that worried me when I looked at the results, because they were mixed, like you say. But I just thought, okay, that's like the template for what's going to happen now. They're going to hold us to 1-1 draw as well. So they're clearly no mugs. And I remember the game last season, it was actually the first one I commentated on, was Weymouth away. And, they took the game to us. And it was pretty similar set of players this time round. The guy Shields who scored, I remember him tormenting us last time. So I wasn't expecting a gimme or a give me, as Simon Russ called it in his interview. I don't know if anybody noticed that. I just thought, I've never seen that before. That's extraordinarily grammatically correct. But yeah, I just thought that. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be easy. You're right. It's we can take something from the fact we got the result.
Yeah, a difficult place to go. I mean, the goal that they scored wasn't their doing; it was our doing, wasn't it?
And then our winner wasn't there to our doing; it was their doing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. I'll give you that.
Very strange game. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you take out those 2 giveaways, those freebies, then it's the goal. The goal that we did score was a very, very good goal.
It's there. We're capable of it.
I know.
That's what's annoying. We're seeing flashes of it. It's just, come on, more of it, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see flashes, don't we? And the new guy was involved both times, wasn't he? The new winger. He was. I'm really looking. I know we're going to talk about Aldershot later, but I'm so looking forward to seeing him. Hopefully, if he picks him in the flesh for 45 or 90 minutes, because he was that difference and he was that quality, wasn't he?
I do like a flying winger. I don't like relying on your wing backs to get all the width. I like a number 7 or a number 11 is what I like.
Yeah, we spoke about this last week in a bit of depth. Actually, to listen to only managed to listen to our show last week's show today, and we spoke about it in a bit of depth, this winger thing. And I thought to myself while I was listening,
that was a really intelligent conversation.
Well, yeah, but we haven't. Well, obviously, yeah. I mean, it's us talking, mate, isn't it? But I'm not sure they're actually wingers. You know when you think about Jeffers and Durkin. Okay. I mean, I'm going back now, Anna, because of my age. But all the 19-year-olds are going, fucking hell, really. But yeah, Jeffers and Durkin, they were on the touch line and they got down to the byline to get a crossing.
But then, if you think of especially John Jeffers, if you think of his greatest moments in a county shirt, there were him skinning a load of players and scoring. There was the goal against Watford in the promotion season. So he could also do that sort of inside forward thing that we mentioned last week. But yeah, I get what you're saying. It was more they were more traditional wingers, absolutely 90% of the time. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Whereas I don't think we have that now.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. With Whitfield in particular, I mean, maybe it's like how Rusk is choosing to play him or how he's choosing to play himself, but he was number 10 and he's back for a start, doesn't he? Which is like inside left, isn't it? And I guess that what I like about him is the way that he moves across that forward line and scampers around. And there was a moment in the Wrexham game where he just stole the ball off one of their centre halves and ran away with it, kind of sideways, But I love all of that. But I also love a traditional winger. I love I love a Chrissy Waddle or somebody like that who just hugs the line, goes outside of his man, whips the crossover. Stanley Matthews.
That's it. They're not sort of bound to different areas of the pitch anymore, are they? Like games would have you believe. They don't stay in static positions anymore. They sort of float around a bit. Whitfield probably just stands in pockets of space, trying to find. He's trying to grab the ball off somebody when they've got it, and when they haven't got. When we're in possession, he'll be trying to find pockets of space.
Yeah. The more I see him, it does remind me of Danny Lloyd. He's got a real Danny Lloyd vibe to him.
Yeah, that low centre of gravity kind of. Yeah,
and you think he's doing nothing, and then you just see he's just waiting, and all it takes is one break, and he's going to be away.
Yeah, he's got a whip across, isn't he? And and the other thing about him, we've not seen it yet in real life, but there was a YouTube clip posted, wasn't there, of his best bits, which I'm always a little bit like wary of. I guess there'll be some worse bits that we're not seeing in his clips, but about half of them were him cutting inside from whichever wing is not the one that he normally kicks with, and basically, actually from either side, cutting inside and curling one in the top corner. So that's the other thing you get with, I guess, modern day wingers when they can do that. If they can cut inside and curl one in the top corner, I'll take some of that if he's got that in his toolbox.
And that's actually the easiest way to score on the new FIFA. So there you go, kids. We're down with the kids. It was Hunger Games the other week, wasn't it? Now we're moving on to the new FIFA.
Yeah. Do you know what with like FIFA and that? This is why I've never played them. I've never played like football games like that since Sensible Soccer. Because even with Sensible Soccer, there's always a way to score. And once you've worked it out, no one can stop you from scoring that way.
Yeah. It's some years it's fun though. Some years target men will be the way to play, and it's like that again this year, and it's absolutely amazing. But yeah, the more they try to mirror real football, the further away they go. Have you seen the screenshots of the new Pro Evo game?
Yeah.
My word! Oh,
how did they get it so wrong?
The best thing is Messi's on the cover. So you go on the demo. You can't play as PSG. PSG out on it. You don't have the rights for PSG.
Oh, you're joking.
So Messi's on the front cover of the game, but you can't play as him. I don't think. I'm guessing he's in it somehow, but I don't think you can play as. I don't think they're licensed PSG. No.
Is that the one? Because I don't do video games. I'm a Subbuteo man, as you guys might know.
Nice.
But
I'm a Subbuteo man too.
I've even still got Subbuteo. But young Geordie Hadder, Frankie. is au fait with these things, and he told me that there'd been like a new release of the FIFA game, I guess, and the thing was that Steve Bruce was faster than Maximan. Steve Bruce could outrun Maximan, like just jogging down the touchline. Yeah. So look, I'm not a video game expert, but I'm guessing that's not supposed to happen, right?
Yeah. No, it's not. Well, it's not. Well, I don't. Is it supposed to happen? Probably. All they've done is they've just done they've just done a clip of players, and they just fit whoever's won at that time fits into that. It fits into that scene, don't they? So I noticed there's another one where someone had posted a clip of Leeds scoring, and it just happened to be Leeds. It could be any club, but Bielsa was getting involved in the celebrations, and they're going. Bielsa wouldn't do that. He wouldn't get involved in the celebration.
Bielsa would sit on his invisible stool, exactly, motionless and emotionless, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Thing is, when you play online, because it's mainly played by like 14-year-old kids who just want to annoy you. When they score, they'll pick the celebration that'll most annoy you. So with Mbappe, they'll go up to the camera and do his little thing.
Oh yeah.
And
he's there.
Yeah. Well, they had to take that off it last year.
Really?
Because people were just getting so toxic.
It was boiling too much piss,
was
it?
Yeah, they go like 12-0 up against you before half time, and just every goal they'll be celebrating it like that. So this year there's an option on, so that when the opposition are celebrating, the camera will focus on your team, and it's so much worse just seeing your defenders stood there arguing with each other. It's like if I wanted this, I just watch County. You know what I mean?
Couple of comments that have come in. JKB04, don't apologise too much, Russ. I was at Weymouth and it was the same old thing until the subs came on. And yeah, I was sat home thinking exactly that. It was
John Billsbury, that is, Russ.
Oh, is it?
It is. That's his yellow. That's his yellow board kind of part of his name. Yes.
I've been sat here very annoyed for like 10 minutes because you said hello to Ian Dowden, but not to John Billsbury.
Well, because I didn't know. Sorry, John. I do apologise. I didn't know it was your handle from YouTube. But yeah, it seemed like the same old, and Weymouth were getting loads and loads of chances, loads of possession, and we just didn't seem like we could get a grip of the game. So yeah.
It was the other thing about following that first half on Twitter is it wasn't until I read Hedgegrower's report, Ian Brown's report, right, on which always fantastic on that on his blog, that I realised the, I guess, correct account that they were pretty much all over us in that first half. Because I have to say that if you read County's Twitter for that first 45 minutes, I know I said I was like despairing on the sidelines at Cheadle Heath, but actually I was despairing of this string of missed chances from County, because all you were really saying on Twitter was, County have got a chance. 10 minutes later, County have got a cross into the box. You weren't hearing that there was stuff going on in between where they were nearly scoring against her. You know what I mean? So I just thought that's another reason why I thought it was. I'm glad I listened to it in the second half to hear what was actually happening there. Because it clearly was flat from the accounts that you hear from people who were. It was clearly flat, and it needed to change second half, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, and I listened to the post-match interview as well, and John Kieran said 13 attempts on goal. That was a good match for us, to obviously Rusk. And I was thinking, well, yeah, 13 attempts is better than what we've been getting in previous matches, which is like 2 or whatever. But nothing was said about how much play they had. And it's kind of, I won't say it's skewing it, but it's kind of not relaying the truth quite much, is it?
Yeah, you can always pick out, I guess, a statistic, and the one that maybe paints things better in your favour. But I guess that again, if people have been at the game, they've seen what the situation was in the game. I'm generally favourable towards Rusk in terms of where the general kind of consensus lies, but there are times when I don't think he does himself lots of favours. In the interview, what I'm referring to, I'm thinking about is in the interview, the same interview, he said something about how, we need to pay the opposition respect because which is true, because they've got something to bring to us, but it almost felt to me like, were we starting off them a bit in that first half? Were we allowing them to take the initiative? Because clearly once we took the initiative, we were fine, right?
Yeah,
once we started taking the game, then we were fine. They couldn't cope with us with our pace down the wings. And I think he said after the Wrexham game, he said, well, the plan was always to win in the second half. Well, I know it sounds a bit trite, but I'd like to say it's planned to win in the first half. Get in front, not give ourselves this kind of task of coming from behind and giving us all palpitations.
That's why I
Yeah.
can't get too excited yet. The last couple of games we have won, I've felt more like, well, yeah, we should be. But I want to see us just play for 90. That's all I want at the moment.
Yeah.
Just play for 90 minutes. Just go out from the
Yeah.
first whistle and look like we fancy
Yeah.
having a proper go. Because normally I'm not bothered about the style of football, but with the money that's been spent and the kind of direction we're going in, I don't think it's unreasonable to want to be entertained. And Mark Stott said the same at Forum. So,
Yeah, and we'll come to our so-called title rivals later and how they're performing, because we're not alone in this. Just another comment that's come in. Tell me there's a Sabutio table in the County Arms from Joe.
There is, but it's got a dodgy transformer. That's a deep right. John's got that. Anyone in the comments gets that, then it's a good night. Brilliant.
It was the dodgy transformer, of course, as you will know, Nick, is a reference to the ski electrics that they have to cast aside because then they have to get the studio out instead, don't they?
Yeah.
Who's they?
Who is they?
It's in a half man, half biscuit.
Half man, half biscuit.
Okay,
Yeah.
Right.
All I want for Christmas is a Duke of Prague away kit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I'll send it to you later, Russ. It's
Yeah.
all right.
You send me a Spotify link.
Yeah. I'll send you a cassette. Bloody hell.
Oh, I've probably actually really got one with half man, half biscuit on. Yeah.
Yeah. Apologies for that. No, there isn't a Sabutio set in here, but there could be, because I own a Sabutio set. So we could have a Sabutio tournament in the County Arms. And we'll invite Dave Espley along.
Misadventures. Have I told you about my Sabutio misadventures before?
No.
That sounds like something really weird happened.
Pray tell.
No. When I first moved out with mum and dad's when I was like 18 and moved into a house share, I was like, I'd always wanted a Sabutio, never had space. So I went out, I got everything. I got the stands, the little. You could even buy. I don't think it was an official thing, but you could buy a CD that you're playing. It was like crowd noises.
Oh, right. That's pretty good.
That's serious stuff. That's good. Yeah.
You put the CD on, and the crowds are basically going, Sabutio! Sabutio! And it's just like I'm going to the Aldershot game on Saturday and just going, football! Football!
Oh, that's brilliant.
And then did you then get into it, Nick? Did you getting some flick to kick action in your new flat? Yeah.
It was just as eBay was kind of becoming a big thing. So I was just constantly on there buying like just random teams. Like, oh, I look at their kit, I'll buy them. I had a few county ones. I've still got them somewhere actually. I have to get them to. Maybe we should have a big tournament, shouldn't we, Russ? At the County Arms.
Yeah, maybe we should.
I would enter if I was invited to enter. I bought Sabutio. I was like really into Sabutio when I was like 13, whatever, and when I was a teenager. And unsurprisingly, Newcastle used to win the FA Cup every year in Sabutio, even though they were rubbish. You know what I mean? And then I got it for Frankie for Christmas a couple of years ago. I was really getting it for me, obviously. And then the thing was when I started to play against Frank, so he's like 16, he's used to video games, is all quite kind of delicate, isn't it? And I explained, like, flick the players, and he went, oh, flick the players, right? And the first time I went to flick a player, he sent it like 10 yards across the kitchen, bouncing off the wall.
Wrong kind of flick.
He could not get the kind of delicacy of the little kills and things like that. And after a while, but then of course, as happens with kids, after about 10 games, he was beaten as like 3-1. So it's not now for a while to be honest. Yeah.
That's the problem with kids nowadays. Though the digits have been trained on like video games and stuff. They've got strong digits. So when it comes to
once he worked out the kind of the yin and the yang of the power and the delicate wing play, there was no chance. I was just watching him basically.
It's like doing a jigsaw with someone who plays Fortnite. It's going to be all over the place.
Yeah, but do you know it's not just Sabutio as well. My lad, honestly, right? He plays like strategic war games. I swear he's going to be some sort of like dictator when he's older. And he wants to learn German as well. So it's not looking good. Oh. But anyway, and he's dead good at him. So I taught him chess because I was pretty decent at chess when I was a kid. I was on the school team.
Just to further that evil genius thing.
Yeah. Teach him how to play chess, and it was probably about 7 or 8 when I taught him. And honestly, about 12 years old, he beat me, and he constantly beats me now. So I just don't play him anymore.
That's the right move, I think. You don't want the ego to get too big there, do you? Yeah. Table tennis. I used to think I was quite good at table tennis, and now Frankie just belts the thing across the room, and I've got, I'm not even in the game whatsoever. So yeah.
Is that the fascist alarm going off?
It is.
Yeah. It's
Matt
like QI, isn't it?
Didn't take us long, did it? Didn't take us long.
Anything as well.
I know, yeah. I think that's about like twice in the last 3 or 4 weeks that I've done it, and normally over the past 7 years it's been you. It's weird. Anything more about the Weymouth match? Anything you want to comment? The goal, the performance, anything?
Oh yes, a bugbear of mine is some of the shit Liam Hogan's getting. Because there's some. I mean, I think it's fair to say his performances haven't been up to scratch. I'm sure he'd be the first to say that, but no one's have. Let's be honest. He's not the only one who's suffering from problems. Let's not forget he's had twins recently as well.
Yeah.
In what I can gather were relatively difficult circumstances. It's been odd. Some of the stuff I've seen this weekend saying, "Oh, get rid of him ASAP" and stuff like that. Well, he was probably the best centre half in this division last season.
Yeah,
you don't go that downhill that quick. He's just having a bad spell.
Yeah, he's going through a bad patch, isn't he? I think the best thing to do is rest him.
Yeah,
take him out of the limelight. I mean, I don't know what it was, but on Saturday it did feel like, based on the commentary, that he was making more mistakes than he normally has.
I think maybe he made a couple of high-profile ones because there was obviously the mix-up for the goal, and then I think late on he lost the ball out wide, didn't he? And there was a chance that they created. But I think I'd broadly agree, Nick, with what you're saying there. I mean, at the end of the day, you're a human being, you have twins. It's going to affect your day-to-day kind of existence. And also, I suppose the other thought I have, just from a footballing point of view, is that I feel like whoever we put in central defence at the minute, I feel like they've struggled a little bit because there's not a settled central defence. There's not even necessarily a settled formation between whether there's 2 and whether there's 3. When we went 18 games unbeaten, I think it was pretty much Palmer and Hogan, right? And I think they pretty much looked like they always had done in terms of, you'd kind of put your house on them. So I think centre halves in particular kind of thrive on that settled thing, and he does take responsibility. So sometimes as well, the mistakes that he's made, okay, not the one with the goal last weekend, but sometimes it's about he's taken some responsibility. It's kind of gone wrong, So yeah, I think that it's again, it sounds like a trite thing, but the team loses together, right? Picking out individuals isn't always a good thing, really. Yeah.
That's a massive issue you've pointed out there as well, John. The fact that there hasn't been a settled. I think, and what you said, Russ, about thinking maybe it would be worth resting Hogan. That brings me on to something I've been a bit worried about. Poor little Will Fish. Do you remember him? Do you remember Hasrod? Bless him, right? Summer, he's at Man United, training with the first team, and then he comes on loan to us, and then a couple of weeks later, they go and sign like possibly the greatest footballer of all time. He could be training with Ronaldo, and instead he's not even getting in our team. And it reminds me of, when you're young and you can't afford to go out, and all your mates do, and you're like stuck at work or something. So Will Fish is like in Morrison's, like stacking the shelves full of carrots, and like everyone else is in Fifth Ave, and they bumped into David Platt from Coronation Street, not the former England forward.
Getting the FOMOs.
They're getting FOMO, yeah. It's like that, isn't it? I mean, it's like, I bet everyone's like sending in pictures of them with Ronaldo in the bath and stuff.
Well, it could be a good chance for him to. Oh no, he can say to step in on Saturday, but he's gone back on international duty, hasn't he? He's playing more for England than he is for county.
This is the thing. This is the thing when you're. I hope he wears his poppy. Can't go going off on England duty and not wearing a poppy. He'll get in all sorts of trouble.
Oh, is it that time again? That annual debate.
That's August. I'll start up again in October. Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't recognise Will Fish if I met him in the street, because the only game I missed this season at home was the first game. I was at a wedding.
Oh, you're so lucky.
I know. I was getting messages saying you've made the right decision from young Jody Hatter, but that was the only game I think that he's played, right? Certainly at Edgeley Park, that first the game.
I think so.
So yeah. I know nothing about him other than that he was kind of singled out for criticism after that game, which again, I'm guessing he wasn't the only one who played poorly in that game. But he's not had a chance since, because he's kind of in this cast of thousands of centre backs that we've got. He's his 6th choice or something now. I don't even know what he is.
And while we're on the centre backs, we've gone probably one last thing on Weymouth. We've gone from fish to pie. Ethan Pye was many people's man of the match, I think. Left-sided centre-back, which is somewhere where... Because Friars has been solid, I think, but there's been a couple of hairy moments. But that's as Ian Dowden said in the comments, James Jennings has been a massive loss.
Yeah. Is Ethan Pye left-footed? Ethan Pye. I mean, I've not seen him play, but
from what I saw the highlights on Saturday,
I think so. I think he was coming forward and kind of hitting along, kind of diagonal ball from the left, as if he looked like he was doing that naturally.
That's
long diagonal balls. You can tell we've got money now, can't you?
That's promising, though, isn't it? If you know, what is he? 18, come from Rochdale.
Yeah,
I mean, 18. He didn't look. I mean, he didn't look like an 18-year-old, did he? Jesus,
he looked at least 19. I thought.
He was a big lad, wasn't he? And composed on the ball again, from what you could tell in the highlights, right? So yeah, I mean, it sounds like, and again, I think Rusk said in the interview that he had no hesitation in putting him in the team. I guess he's going to say that, but yeah, he's shown some trust in him. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him again on next Saturday.
I hope so.
Yeah. I don't see why he should lose his place.
No.
To be honest, if that's the case. Yeah. So Aldershot then on Saturday. I mean, we are getting sick of saying it. We've just got to be 3 points on it. You know.
That's it. Well, we're in that run of games now where every game is a must win, and well, if you look on paper, it's the type of game we'd be expected to win. So. Yeah, there's not much room for. Do you think Rusk's job is still under threat then, or because he doesn't cut a very delighted figure when you see the final whistle go on the highlights? I don't know. I wonder if he's still. I wonder how he's feeling. It's interesting for all the talk of how players are feeling. We've not really got into that, like how.
Well, I would suspect he's feeling the pressure.
You hope so, wouldn't you? I'm feeling it.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you know, I don't know. I think we're kind of going over all ground here. We're 11th at the moment. We've got a game in hand over a lot of those above us, but it's not been that you know, we're not pulling up trees, are we? As we thought we were going to. And it's all you know. The expectations were high, and that's certainly why I'm feeling a bit shit about it all, because I was expecting us to fly out the traps. Almost, I was expecting us to continue the 18-game unbeaten run. Ignore the playoff game. I was expecting us to continue the 18-game unbeaten run. We added quality, therefore, in my logical and rational head, we would do better than that.
Yeah, and you know, that makes perfect sense. You know, and I think that the impression I get is that the combination of those two things, basically that expectation and the run to the end of last season. It's adding more pressure on him, I think, when we're struggling game by game, and I picked up on that as well, Nick, at the end of when they showed him at the end of the Weymouth game. We just won 2-1, but he just looked exhausted coming off the pitch. And I suppose what I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, I kind of hope that the board have given him an amount of games to prove yourself as opposed to game by game. That's what I do hope, because that can't be fair, and it can't work in terms of the dynamics of the group if everybody knows or can pick up on the fact that the manager could get a sack after if they lose the next game, kind of thing. That surely isn't how Mark Stott would run the rest of his businesses, right? He must be. It would seem fair to me to give him an amount of time. I mean, people talk about 10 games, Christmas, whatever, because then you can take a look at that and say, look, where are we? How we're doing? You know.
It feels like we're all of last year's good work has been undone. I mean, to be fair, once Jim got sacked, it kind of. I wouldn't say anything. The quality diminished. We didn't play poorly. We certainly didn't play spectacularly either. You know, under Rusk, and I think we said that last season as well. You know, about sort of levels of performance. We never really went above anybody. You know, if anybody came along and played, you know, to a good level for this level, then they would probably beat us, and Hartlepool proved that. Whereas this season, it feels like now that. He's almost starting again. He's starting to build those foundations again and put those building blocks in place. And you can see slowly it's starting to work. The Wrexham match, the Weymouth match. Okay, frustrating, but we still got the wins. And I just hope that is the case for him, really, because he'll keep his job. And we know Aldershot will be another building block. Can we get a good result? Can we play better for longer and just keep on building that up?
Yeah, I get the impression that he's still working out what his best team is. He's in some ways, I wonder whether he's been helped by the massive amount of recruitment that's given with this really quite big squad, and then every match will make a few changes, and including sometimes to the formation, right? So
yeah,
I guess what I hope is that we'll get to a point where there's a settled squad and a settled team, and we really will kind of turn that corner. But what he hasn't got is, it's as if he's thought he's had that luxury of working that stuff out in the first 10 games, but you don't, right? That's kind of what pre-season's for. And, even just briefly on pre-season, that pre-season was a little bit like 2 or 3 games against real minnows, right? So that was maybe a bit of an opportunity missed right from the start there, kind of.
Yeah. Do you think that some players have let him down, therefore that's why he's gone looking in the market for replacements?
There's certainly been some who haven't showed form. Yeah.
It depends who's doing the looking in the market. I mean,
well,
if Rusk fails, it doesn't look good on Simon Wilson, does it? So I think there's a mutual interest in them both wanting to.
Yeah. So Wilson, I think they've said before, haven't they, in the interviews, whether you believe them or not, is entirely up to you. But Rusk has his requirements of what he wants for the team. Wilson and the recruitment team will go out and find it, based on their contacts and based on their knowledge.
Yeah,
and bring a list to him, and Rusk will then decide which player he wants to go for. Yeah. The book stops with Rusk, doesn't it? He's the manager. He's the manager of the team.
As a football manager player, Russ, not Rusk. Maybe he does. I don't know. Well, no, he probably doesn't, does he? Thinking about things. As a football manager player, if you went to start a new game and that was a setting that they imposed on you, like if you want to sign a player, you have to submit to a higher authority and they'll give you a list of players to sign. How would you feel about that?
I'd be totally fine with that, because I'm there to manage the team, not
good
to do
lad. Good lad. You're a good yes man, aren't you?
No, it's not about being a yes man. It's about having a hierarchy in place and a structure and an organisation that will, in long term, achieve.
But you need those short term gains as well.
Yeah, but
that's what I want.
Right.
And money. That's what I want.
You want it all, and you want it now.
Not now, not right now. I've got stuff on tonight, but
I think your Wilson Vendetta's coming out a bit.
I won't call it a vendetta. I'd call it being not thinking
totally opposed to him.
Not thinking much about someone's ability to basically run my football club based on the evidence on hand.
Okay.
Based on what's been done. And I've praised the off the pitch stuff, but on the pitch, I think it's not far off a fucking shambles. If we do get to a stage where we're changing manager in a few weeks, then I reserve the right to upgrade it to a shambles. You know, like they have the terror alert things.
Yeah, it would be category 4 at the very least, wouldn't it?
Yeah, a category 4 shambles.
Yeah,
is what he would have presided over.
Yeah. And you could and I know it's easy to put 2 and 2 together and make 5 and stuff, but you could imagine. I think you're right to describe how the roles should work between the manager and the director of football, classically, in the way that we described. I think that what none of us know is how that translates to the reality of county. And the thing I'd love to know, I'd love to be a fly on the wall and know whether there have been occasions where basically Rusk hasn't asked for a player and Wilson has said, look, I think I'm going to sign you this player because, we need to improve the squad in this area. Because how do the dynamics lie in that way? And, from Wilson's point of view, is that kind of him, protecting, kind of his position within the hierarchy and everything else. I just don't know. That's the point. And so I think that how I feel about Wilson is, it's difficult for me to get a handle on whether he's doing his job well or not well, because I don't really feel like I know exactly where his responsibilities start and end, or where his influence starts and ends.
But nobody knows, and nobody will ever know. And I don't think any director of football has ever been praised. They're always vilified, really, aren't they? They're getting involved too much, or they're interfering.
Well, when
it goes right, nobody goes, "Oh, this director of football, yay!" You don't see him running on FIFA, do you, with all the players?
No, that's
the trophy.
That's a fair point, and it may be that he's gone to wherever the new winger came from, and he's been instrumental in bringing the guy in, and the guy wins is really instrumental in the season, and nobody will turn around and say what an amazing signing by Wilson, I guess, right? So I hear what you're saying.
I'd like to believe that the structure is in place that of the way I described earlier, and Rusk has the final say. It's his team. He's got to play them the way he wants to play them, and you can see that coming out. The under-23 way of football is there, and I think we said it last week. You said it, Nick. It's not working at this division. You can't get out of this division playing under-23 football, and I totally agree with that. So Rusk needs to change the way he's doing it.
But when under-23 football is what he knows, that's where we need to see that he's adaptable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he needs to be adaptable. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't see
is where he will be compared unfairly with the previous manager, because that was always a strength of the previous manager. So that's always going to be a stick to me. But what I will something you mentioned there about us not knowing, about the accountability that Wilson faces and stuff, and us not knowing him, we never will. Well, good little link there. Hopefully someone does know, because we've just appointed a chairman, haven't we?
We have. Well done.
I don't want to be a dickhead about it, mate.
Hey, John,
looking at the comments about him from Everton fans, he might not know. I don't think he knows he's got a director of football if Everton fans are right.
Yeah, I wasn't totally convinced by some of the comments, and even the pictures that were coming out, Elston out pictures from Everton. I was like, what? What's all this about? I don't know, John. Have you seen any of this? Have you seen any?
Do you know what? It's the one aspect of the county week. When I saw what we're going to cover tonight, I thought, this has passed me by a little bit. And I know that we've appointed a new chairman, because again, Frankie told me the other day, and I quickly saw the news item, but I know he's come from Everton. I know some of the Everton fans are kind of slagging him off. I don't know what he did at Everton, so I'm a little bit in the dark, if I'm perfectly honest.
Yes,
there's so much going on, isn't there?
That's he was chief executive at Everton. He was, I think, he was quite high up at in Northwest Water. No, Super League, the rugby league.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but. Everton fans don't. But if you named any of our chief executives from like the past 20 years or so, I don't think there's a single one where I'd be like, oh yeah, he did this, that, and that. It was brilliant.
Yeah, and when Frankie said to us, all the Everton fans are slagging him off, I kind of said, oh, well, football fans do kind of slag people off, don't they? But I don't know whether I was saying that just because I don't know if there's room in me head to have another person in the hierarchy who I'm kind of not entirely sure about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he's been CEO at Everton, though, well, okay, that's he's had some responsibility, he's had some accountability. There is a track record for people to take a look at, I guess, and make their judgments, right?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. And it's worth pointing out, because I think some people have viewed it with a bit of suspicion that we're all of a sudden appointing a chairman. But Stott did say early on he didn't want to be a chairman. It was and he said he's not a football. And maybe, as I said, it is someone for Wilson to be accountable. Wilson will now be accountable to someone who knows football, hopefully.
Yes, and somebody who I guess he's not had any kind of prior relationship with, so there's no kind of prejudgment going on there. So you can imagine how it could all work out amazingly well. And we'll look back at the end of the season and say it was the appointment of the chairman when we went on that 30 game unbeaten run and finished second.
Yeah, just to play
through the pubs.
Just to play devil's advocate there, are you suggesting that Wilson? Are you suggesting that Wilson doesn't know anything about football, Nick?
No, Stott has said he's not a football man.
Yeah, but you didn't.
So what I'm saying, Wilson is being judged by Stott, who has said he doesn't really know football.
Right.
I mean, it's one thing.
So what you're in for? Just play devil's
advocate. What is because Elston has worked in football before. Right. He's done this role. He'll have had directors of football accountable.
Right. So if Wilson is being shit, then you're hoping that Wilson gets the boot because Elston knows about football.
If we're not progressing. If we're not progressing as a club, and it's down, and Elston decides it's down to Wilson because Elston's a football man and can see what other people can't from the outside, then you tried to trip me up there, Russ.
I'm not trying to trip you up. I just want to be clear.
You've seen me have a massive White Russian and just open a can and thought, He's under there. I can get him.
No, I'm not being like that.
He's all non-compass mentis.
No. But you know what? Just like going through social media and stuff. There are those people out there that do. They put in the blame, if you want to call it, square at the feet of Wilson. They are, and I just don't quite say.
I said, Wilson's done a lot of good stuff. The training ground, the whole training ground infrastructure, and everything. That's all Simon Wilson and everything. And a lot of the recruitment has been good. But then it feels like the summer recruitment wasn't what it should have been. In terms of quality, it was, but it wasn't. It wasn't quality in the right places. Like, look at what we've got. About 26 centre backs on the books now.
25 of them are right-footed, aren't they, as well?
So now we're scrambling. We're like a quarter of the way into the season, roughly, and we're scrambling to make up for.
It's a very odd mix between, because I agree, Nick, that there's been some really great recruitment generally. I mean, you can't argue with a lot of the quality, but then if it was like a jigsaw you are putting together, well, yeah, the centre back thing, there's just some glaring omissions or some glaring kind of like, why would you not send a left-foot centre back? Is that not obvious? It's almost like some of the really obvious things have just been missed, you know.
It's weird. It seemed like the recruitment was based on us going to 4 at the back, playing at 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, and then it just never happened. Because you can get away without having a left-footed centre-back in that system. But, it's just very strange. And then we can continue to persist. But it's just conversation we've had every week since the start of the season. We just keep having it again. It's like Groundhog Day.
Back to Elston. Do we know anything more about him, apart from he was Everton's CEO and Super League? Anything?
He lives in Stockport, so he's already part of the community. Where in Stockport do we reckon he lives?
Oh, well, it's nowhere.
I'm going to take a wild guess at SK7.
Yeah.
He's definitely up that neck of the woods.
Yeah.
I was surprised that he lived in Stockport. That's no reason to give him the job, though, is it? Come on. You're from Stockport. You'll do.
I'll move to Stockport if it'll get me a job. Quite high up in county. I'll move back. All right.
High up in county.
I
love it. I don't really know that much about him, to be honest. So
I think proof will be in the proof of the eating.
Exactly.
The proof of the pudding will be in the eating. That's
exactly. Yeah. It was the last chairman that we had that was a complete fuck up.
I think all of them have been at some point. Well, Richard Park did as chairman, but he did a bit. There was a bit of
started off bad,
going on. But that wasn't while he was chairman. To be fair, I mean, he brought Jim Gannon back, which was the catalyst for where we are now. So it worked for Richard Park. But I think look at Elwood. Elwood gave us the best times.
He brought Jim Gannon back, but listen to the dark days. Did he want him back? Did he want him? Who knows?
Find out. That's 6.5 hours.
Just to find out that.
We'll tell you next week. But yeah, if you look at Elwood, Elwood gave us the best times ever. Yeah, the way in which he sold the club, kicked off the worst times ever. So it's almost like things aren't all black and white, Russell.
Oh, it is, Nicholas.
Yeah. It's like the shades of grey.
How many?
I don't know. I'm looking at 50 of them here.
Elston, what about the FA Cup?
Stamford. I had to look it up on a map, which is rare for me to have, because my football and my knowledge of the geography of England is largely through football, I guess. But that means I know where everywhere is, because you know where non-league teams are. But I didn't know where Stamford was. I kind of guessed it would be in Lincolnshire, because I thought it's like there's a university in America, isn't there? It's like Boston, and it's all Lincolnshire places. So anyway, then I looked at the map, and that's where it is. But I literally. It's as people have said, it's the best draw you could hope for, in that they are lowly. I guess the other side of that is it a complete banana skin, and an embarrassing opportunity for a reverse, I guess.
If anyone can lose it, we can.
Yeah.
If anyone's going to
Yeah.
mess this up, it's going to
Yeah.
be us. Stick it on the
Yeah.
telly.
Times are different now. I think times are different. I think the too far down the pyramid. What are they 3 steps or 4 steps below us?
They're the same number of steps below us that Rush All Olympic were. But I do agree, like we will most likely be beating them. Even in the mixed form we've been in, we'll still not really have much of an issue.
Yeah, there's a slim chance they could come and turn us over because it's their FA Cup final, isn't it? And
I always think when you're at home, you're more unlikely to see that upset. Because the reason the TV will go to a game a bit more, an underdog at home to a big team is because that's when you can see that, can't you? But they don't have that lift of being in front of their own fans. You just got to imagine we'll overpower them on the day, really, with what we've got at our disposal, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound disparaging, but even if we were away from home, the number of fans that they have that go week in, week out, who are Stamford fans and not Stamford and Man United fans.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Who are hardcore, it's probably very, very low, isn't it?
There's probably more Peterborough fans in Stamford than there are Stamford fans. Looking at the map, I would imagine, and United ones.
Exactly. So even if we went away, even if it was away, I'd still expect us to. And I'm not being disrespectful to them. I just think our quality will shine through. But then again, it's the magic of the cup.
What I want to say, just a few early goals, a nice chorus of "You've had your day out now, fuck off home," or go to the pub for a pint. And then job done.
And they get
first round.
Yeah, they get a bit of a nice payout because we've had a bumper crowd, which will come on to £6 a ticket for adults.
As I said, I did a bit of research into this. I didn't. I just looked back at previous seasons where cup games, FA Trophy and FA Cup, mostly was a tenner.
Yeah.
Obviously, both clubs have to agree if it's an FA Cup competition or FA Trophy. Both clubs have to agree to the reduction. So fair, but Stamford must have done some quick maths there. When County phoned up and said, right, you can have tickets for a tenner or £6, they were like, right, because they get a cut of the gate receipts, obviously.
Yeah, I think they get half, don't they? Do they not get half?
If not, I think both. I think it might be 45% for each club and then 10% for the FA, possibly.
Right.
But yeah, we get same gate receipts for each club anyway.
Right. I didn't know that. I didn't know the FA got some. That makes sense.
Yeah. Because we need them more than they need us. Maybe we should break away. I've always said this though. There should be having had a good laugh at Norwich in the last few weeks. Everyone commented on how they smashed the Championship last year and how they're like, oh, they'll do well. So well, no, they won't. We've seen Norwich in the Premier League many times before, and we know how it goes. There should be a separate league. And if Pep Guardiola is serious about having Premier League under 23 sides in the pyramid, stick him in that one. And Newcastle fans can have a vote and work out where most of them would have more fun. Because all the Newcastle fans I know had more fun in the Championship than they did in the Premier League, just because they're getting to go to new grounds and winning every week. So we should have a little kind of just above the Championship. So, that's my proposal.
Let the elite teams go off and do their thing, right? And all of my happiest moments in my time growing up watching Newcastle were. Yeah, there were actually. Well, apart from when we used to nearly win a league against United, but the times when we came from the second division and going down to Grimsby and getting promoted and stuff like that, it's there's a lot to be said for it, and there's a lot to be said for.
Oh, he's gone.
There's a lot to be said for just English football. These kind of these superpowers. Oh, have I gone?
No, you're back. You're back. Yeah, no, you're back.
Oh, okay.
So you mean? I was going to say, like a little side league. I was going to call it the side boob league. That'd be pretty good.
And also, what there should be, in American sports where they have a draft system to work out who gets each player. They should do that each season with Alexander Mitrovic. Because he's far too good for the Championship, but nowhere near good enough for the Premier League. So he's just one team each season in that little league. Yeah.
Yeah. Can't we just call it the Scottish Premier League? And I've done with it.
Just easy target.
Whoa. So yeah, I mean, I heard as well that only 2 sides are open, Main Stand and Cheadle End, for that match.
Yeah,
Was that in the article? I did read the article, but obviously not.
it's
well
there
enough.
when I think it's either in the article or it's there when you go and book the tickets anyway. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, speaking of being able to buy tickets, it's the FA Youth Cup next Tuesday, which is I've always said it's kind of had a bit of a romance for me. FA Youth Cup, because that's obviously where like the class of '92 first came through. They won the FA Youth Cup, but there's been so like Lampard and Ferdinand coming through at West Ham like in the same competition. So there's a bit of there's a good chance like if we can progress a couple of rounds, we could come up against like the United stars of the future, and maybe we'll take one of them on loan and not play them. Really exciting times. So that you can buy tickets for that online, which I'm kind of tempted to.
Yeah.
I
thought you were reminiscing about the class of '92 then for a minute. I thought you were going to go.
I was just saying that's the prestige of the FA Youth Cup, though, isn't it? That's where they first.
Yeah. I mean,
they all won it together. Like
it does get a lot of mentions, doesn't it? When you see the players coming through in the Premier League, that they won the FA Youth Cup. I think didn't Arjun Raiki did he not win it?
He did.
I think
I think he did. Yeah.
So yeah, give you that. Yeah, it's good.
I've not won it.
No, I've never won it. I won it at Sabutio.
I'll add it to the list of things I've not won, along with Rear of the Year and the Grammy.
So, just going back to the match then, Joe Inglesfield, £6 a ticket and hopefully a crowd of 3,000 to 4,000 would be amazing for them. Totally agree. Where is there going to be segregation then? What's going to happen? Do they get the end of the main stand?
I imagine they'll get the two blocks in the together stand, won't they?
Well, yeah, but I thought it was. Have I misread it?
Yeah, but they'll put the netting up and segregate it, won't they?
Right. So the together stand is open, but just for Stamford.
No. I think the other blocks available for county fans, and they'll have like a netting up like they used to. Do you remember when they used to do that in the National League North?
Well, hang on a second. What? Somebody said that only the Cheadle end and the main stand were going to be open. That's what someone said.
I'm forgetting which one's the together stand. I'm going old money.
Together stand's the pop side.
Oh right, okay. So
yes.
If that's not open, it won't have their fans in.
So
right.
Railway End and pop side is generally the away fans. So yeah, we're getting live updates from people. So Joe Inglesfield again, pop isn't open for county fans. There you go.
So, away fans are they getting the same as Wrexham? They're getting more than Wrexham. What's going on here? How big are these?
No, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. I don't understand. I just don't understand what's going on.
We're going to get the entire population of Stamford's going to come and fill the pop side. There's going to be hordes.
Well, they're going to have half the ground. This is mental.
I mean, if they do, fair enough. But
we might finally see the raping and pillaging that Wrexham promised.
I thought when someone said that the pop side and the Railway End were, they said that the Cheadle End and main stand were the only ones that were going to be open. I thought, for everybody, they're going to close the other two stands because it's cheaper to run a match without having to steward them and things like that, based on what Stamford would bring, which would make sense, wouldn't it? I just wondered where the Stamford fans were going to go.
Well, you've had your answer now, haven't they?
Well, they're going to go. So it's all open then.
They're going to be spread around the pop side with 25 seats between each one of them. But
I do hope that is going to get allocated one. You've got to take them out for the day.
No, I know what's going to happen. They're going to get tickets in the Cheadle and it's all going to kick off. That's what's going to happen.
I do hope the standard of raping and pillaging, if they bring it, is better than Wrexham's, because it was poor. It was like me and young Geordie Hadaway outside Stockport station on the way home, and I mean we did get chased away down that bit towards the A6 by about 12, 13-year-olds, But it was just kind of pathetic, you know what I mean? And then they just all kind of dispersed, and it was like, is that your raping and pillaging? Because I would have expected more, frankly, from the North Wales hordes generally,
It's mad though, isn't it? Like you get chased by a load of 13-year-olds, you have to run away. You chase a load of 13-year-olds, it's a police matter.
Yeah, it's political correctness gone mad, Nick. That's what mental. It is. Yeah.
Yeah, so Stamford get around 300 at home average attendance, but obviously they'll have all the day trippers. Yeah. There'll be a load of maybe there'll be some Peterborough fans who aren't going to their game that day, and they'll get on the train up. Who was it we played when? It might have been Chorley and some Bolton and Preston fans turned up and caused a bit of bother. Yeah, maybe we'll have a bit of that.
Yeah.
Maybe Darren Ferguson will come for a scrap.
That would make sense. I think Charlie's got some like Preston, some kind of Preston diehards who turn up for them as well. Yes.
Well, I think Darren Ferguson won't come for a scrap. He only hits women. Got found guilty. It's all right. Can't get me on that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not sure if we've mentioned it before, but do you remember when we played Macclesfield away once and Paul Ince was in charge of Macclesfield, and we started singing, and I don't think I've made this up or dreamt it, but we started singing "Paul Ince is a paedophile, Paul Ince is a paedophile," right? So then when it all quietened down, someone went, "You can't prove he's not." It's like, he's got a good point.
Imagine that was like the standard. Mind you, have you seen social media? It pretty much is.
Well,
like, guilty till proven innocent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I did enjoy that story. Talking of which, Benjamin Mendy. Well, of course you do.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Obviously, he's in for on suspicion of some terrible stuff. They moved because he's famous and everything. They moved him to the vulnerable prisoners wing, otherwise known as a VP wing. He thought it was a VIP wing, and he genuinely got really. He phoned his agent and his lawyer and everything that said, "They put me in a VIP wing. It's worse than where I was before." So,
was he like, "Where's the jacuzzi? Where's the
yeah? Where's the jacuzzi? Where's the women to rape allegedly?"
My God.
I didn't know about that. Should we just quick?
People say footballs are thick.
You do worry sometimes about the connection with the real world there, don't you? For sure. Yeah.
Well, when you've been earning that kind of money that early, then it's no wonder they're all fucked up. Look at Michael Jackson.
Because God knows what I'd be like. Who did he play for? Oh, Fulham, apparently. We've got a statue of him.
Bury as well. I'm sure there was a Michael Jackson at Bury.
There was, yeah. Early championship manager legend.
Hey, there you go. There you go. It's in there somewhere. Rival clubs. I say rival clubs. There's a massive inverted commas with that. And their starts, because I think we mentioned this, Nick, at the start of the season. Have you got loads of stats for us, or are we just going to go off?
Well, no. The main one from last night's. I thought we'd have a little, because we were the odd ones out. We were the
we were last night.
We were the little weirdos who were invited to dance. We're the goth in the corner with a snake bite and black and a funny eye. So in the pick of last night's games, 10-man Halifax, they were 2-0 down at home to Notts County. Around the hour mark, they decided to introduce Matty Warburton and Elliot Newby, both formerly of this parish, one very recently, and culminated in Matty Warburton scoring the winner in the 100th minute. So that's and it was a goal and a half as well. It was the type of attacking football you'd bloody love to see us playing. Just stretching the pitch, running at players. Oh, it was lovely.
Yeah, it does. It does annoy me somewhat. But I was kind of doubled when I saw that come through. I was kind of like thinking, yes, okay, Notts County have just got beat. That's good for us because they've had a similar start to us. They've been battered a couple of times, like us. To be fair,
I think Notts County are going to just totally level very soon. The way it's going, it's all kicking off. I mean, obviously Southend have got stuff off the pitch, which I'll come to. But yeah, Notts County, there's shit all up the walls.
But they did that last season for a bit, didn't they? They did that for last season for a bit, didn't they? They just completely just fell off completely.
But apparently they've got they appointed a sort of similar. They made a similar managerial appointment to us. They made a mid-season gamble, changed manager to a completely new philosophy and approach, and it's kind of the opposite way. Their manager's too attacking for them. So we need to defend at some point. That's kind of the whole vibe of their fans at the moment.
Yeah.
So and then basically Notts County, there's like shit all up the walls, and everyone's just not looking at it. Everyone's just kind of being like, "Yeah, there's no shit on the walls." But soon it's all going to probably after we win there, it'll probably all unravel.
Yeah. But could you imagine County going down to 10 men? And no. When County go down to 10 men, there's no way we're getting back into any game, is there? If we're 2-0 down and we go down to 10 men, there's no way on this earth that we're getting back in that. But
Halifax down to 10. Was Halifax down to 10 men?
Halifax were down to 10 men and they were 2-0 down at home.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They came back to win 3-2.
Right. That's the game against Notts County last night. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I mean, I knew it was an impressive result by them, but that's even more impressive. Kind of doesn't surprise us about Halifax because I know we were so poor, but they showed a lot of fight, didn't they, against us? Apart from that quality, they showed a lot of fight. So, and I think they kind of reflect their manager in that regard, don't they? So yeah, I think I'm maybe a bit like what you were saying. It's like, what do you make of that? Because Notts County would have been pre-season kind of challenges, but actually Halifax are in contention, right? They're clearly decent and know what they're about. Yeah.
Well, they're up there. You know,
considering the budget, the manager's done a very good job there. He's certainly, if it did come to it, I'd hope he's in the frame here.
Well, he's not. He's been helped by us, hasn't he? You know, we've given him a really good attacking player that makes things happen at this level.
Yeah, we've not really touched on that, have we? His end product last season wasn't the best, but his build-up play, I thought he offered something no one else did. This pace he had on the half turn, you know, I felt it was something we could have done with. But yeah, it's just again sending players to teams. I know there's a balance to be had, but
it's not like what Man City or Chelsea, where you can loan a player to say Villa or Newcastle or somebody, and it's kind of okay because they're in the same league, but they're not competing for the same prize as you are. Like, as if County think maybe that's where we are in the National League, but we're not, right? Because you give Halifax some of our players. Well, we're competing with Halifax for the top 2 or the top 7, if that's what we're competing for. And I think I agree on Newby that I know he's a different kind of player, but if Rooney wasn't playing for us, I think Newby's a guy who can come in and, you know, he's between the midfield and the forwards. He's going to create your chances. I would have thought of him as the cover for that kind of position. So, it's the only thing that didn't surprise us was, well, I suppose we need to get rid of some players because we've got so many. But I don't know if that Newby would have been my first choice or to send to Halifax either, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think he was down the pecking order, wasn't he? But
he was.
But in a time when we were struggling to create chances and get goals, Newby, every time he got it, like you say, on the half turn, every time he got it, he looked to go forward and looked to make things happen. That's exactly what you need when you're not playing well early season.
And he would get 10, 15-minute cameos, and he would do that in that time.
Yeah.
It wasn't as if he'd ever let us down, you know.
Exactly, and he might have even done something in certain games that maybe changed not just the game, but, you know, let's not go that far, but he might have changed attitudes amongst other players.
Sometimes that's enough, though, isn't it? In terms of just that additional impetus on the pitch, just moving the ball quicker, all that kind of thing. I'm sure I've seen him do that during the 18-game run. So it's a surprising one for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, just looking at the top of the table now: Grimsby, Borehamwood, Halifax, Dagenham, and Redbridge. We played all 4 of those, and we've had, we've won 2, we've drawn 2 and lost 2.
We have, haven't we? We have.
Yeah.
I guess the one that we came closest to winning was the Grimsby one because we did have, you know, had chances to win that, but you can't really say that about. You can't really say we could have got any more than what we did get from the other 3, right?
Yeah. Agree with that.
I think obviously last season Weymouth did the double over us, and we've beaten them this time round. But at the same time, last season we beat Halifax and Yeovil. And this season, we've not only lost to them both, but been well and truly battered.
Yeah,
both. So it's just it just feels to me like we're stuck in the mud at the moment.
This is why Notts County is the big test for me, and I know it's what's being generally said because you look like we might have. Obviously, we're getting a couple of results. Have we turned the corner? I think when we play Notts County, if we produce a proper display against them and beat them, I think we can rightly then say, okay, this is a team that's taken on those absolute top teams. At the minute, we cannot really say that because when we've come against them, we haven't really brought what we should be capable of, right?
Yeah, but when we say top teams, have we played a top team yet?
Dagenham will be up there. Dagenham will be top 3. I said it before the season started, and they will be.
Yeah, but the Dagenham, I think they got beat last night again. Was it Woking? Did Woking beat Dagenham last night?
Woking, another team doing well.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not sure and maybe we have played the top teams, which is Grimsby, Dagenham, and Redbridge, possibly. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like anybody's really getting a grip on the league. Grimsby are top of the league now, but they're not really. I mean, they've already been beat. They weren't great against us.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's not so much that we haven't played the top teams. Look, I mean, Grimsby are 10 games into the season, they're top of the league, so they must be pretty good. And they must have got, I'm guessing they've got money behind them that's made them be able to buy some quality for this level. But maybe what it is that there's been seasons where there's maybe 2 or 3 outstanding teams, Torquay, Hartlepool, and us last year, right? This year there's more of a mixture. So maybe it's just that it's not emerged yet who the absolute top ones are. Right?
Yeah, I think
and
that's it. Yeah.
I don't know enough about Dagenham and Redbridge to know whether they're a bit of a flash in the pan or whether they'll maintain this pace. But I mean, an amazing start from them, right? They're scoring 3 and 4 every game.
Yeah, I think I just picking up on something you said there, and I totally agree with that. Was it's not emerged yet who is the top team in or the top teams in the division? It's still out there for me. Nobody's said. I mean, Dagenham and Redbridge, yeah, they were great against us. They totally deserved the win and the 3 goals. But since then, I mean, I know they've had a couple of good wins in 5-1 and what have you, scored the joint most goals, but they've been beat 2 or 3 times already.
They have. They've been beaten by Woking. We're just looking at the results, so it's really mixed, isn't it? You know?
That's what I mean. I don't think anyone's got. What I'm saying is, I don't think anyone's got a grip on the league yet.
Yeah.
Chesterfield's scared the living shit out of me because of the amount of strikers they've got. I think they've got one to come back as well, haven't they? Some lad to come back. Keep on seeing his name mentioned.
Is that right? I don't know.
Well, we've got one of them ourselves, apparently.
Well, yeah, that's it. Yeah,
There's
got
a
one
lot
ourselves.
of pressure on Quigley, isn't there? The way people are going on about him. I hope Rusk doesn't see that and just think, right, I'm going to start him. Just ease him in. But when it's your job on the line, I suppose.
I mean, what do you do? Yeah. I mean, Madden seems to be getting. He's notching 2 in 2, so.
I think knowing he's got likes of Crankshaw and Whitfield who can kind of do the stuff he was doing, like he was trying to create his own chances almost at the time, but now he can focus on being what he is, which is a good finisher.
Yeah.
He's a real penalty area player, isn't he? I was thinking today that if I was the manager, I would tie a 40-yard long rope around the middle of the opposition crossbar and the other end around his waist. And it's like, that's it. You can't go any further. Because when he wanders, and it's like, oh, great, he's made an interception by our own corner flag. But he can't do that and score 25 goals a season. And then we saw at the weekend, that finish, it's a classic forwards finish. And wasn't it Gary Lineker who said, it's not about being in the right place at the right time, it's about being in the right place every time. And that's what you've got to be. And then if you're that kind of striker, then you will score goals.
Yeah.
But Madden, I guess, again, one of the things we don't know is he wandering around the pitch of his own volition, of his Rusk being saying, actually do 2 jobs. You've got to hope that when Quigley comes back, and we've got the wingers, you know, if Madden is playing as centre forward, right? He's in.
Yeah.
He's going to want to be, right?
Yeah. I mean, that the goal that got disallowed showed that as well, didn't it? That was a tidy finish, wasn't it?
Lovely finish.
Arguably off, you know, he probably was offside but a nice little tidy finish against our ex-keeper as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
and Ethan Ross was playing against his former club as well. It's like they swap keepers from.
Yeah.
It's like a mode on FIFA. There's a mode on FIFA where you can swap non-league goalkeepers around. That won't sell very well. Although they've put Wrexham on the game now. Wrexham on there.
Yeah.
It's a bit meh, isn't it?
Well,
who wants to play as Wrexham? Dickheads, that's who.
Well, their crowd last night as well, over 9,000 at Wrexham.
Immense, isn't it?
Really?
And a lot of people seem to be trying to compare us to them. They say, oh, well, we're not happy, but look at Wrexham. It's like, yeah, but we're ahead of Wrexham. This is the whole point, is that we're about 18 months to 2 years ahead of Wrexham.
Yeah, do you know, we spoke to Tim from Fearless and Devotion, didn't we, about this? Or certainly I did when I went on their show, that we were ahead of those in terms of time. But if you actually look at it, we're not. In time we are, but in terms of
how long we've had to build things up,
but in terms of the squads that we've assembled and how organised they are and how cohesive they are, I think we're the same as Wrexham. I think
that's what it looked like at the game at Edgley Park, right? And that's what you take from the results that they're having. They're exactly like us. They're an underachieving at present in the league, ex-league club with big money behind them and big crowds behind them, right?
Yeah.
Who you wonder whether the pressure is kind of how that's working internally for them. But again, you wouldn't rule them out, right? Because like about 7 or 8 other clubs, they're going to be potentially in the mix, right?
Yeah, we just got to hope that we click however it clicks. I don't care how it clicks. And we just got to hope that it starts to work for us. And these little building blocks that I mentioned earlier are in fact building blocks, and they're not blocks of sand.
Yeah.
You know,
another 18-game unbeaten run and we'll be in the top 3. We just need one of those, right?
That's what I think we need. I think we need. I said it last week. We need a sustained period of playing well and winning football matches, and that's why I was so apoplectic against what I was hearing against Weymouth. That's why I tweeted what I bloody well tweeted.
Well, I'll tell you what, mate. If at home games, if you came down and saw us on the concourse at half time instead of just ignoring us for the whole 90 minutes, if you came down and saw us, then maybe you could get this off your chest there, and you won't make an absolute boob of yourself. Something to think about.
Yeah, I'll think about it. Yeah,
Ian Dowden off the comments. He come and saw us last time. You didn't. No.
I've got nothing to say.
No.
I might come down and see you. I might do.
Yeah. You can watch me. You can watch me drink a pint really quickly because I never get it. I never get it until about 2 minutes before the second half starts. And it's a thing to behold.
Right, time's getting on. Should we turn our attention to John Geordie Hatter and what you do for the county fans? Just explain it to us.
Oh, thank you. How can I explain it? I've always had this. I've always had, obviously going to being a football fan, I knew I wasn't going to be a footballer from when I was like 11, 12. I guess if there was anything I ever wanted to kind of do, it was commentate on the football matches. And it was kind of weirdly specific as well, in that I didn't particularly like being a TV commentator match of the day. Like, okay, look, I would have loved to do that. But radio commentary, I'd always fancied having to go radio commentary, describing the game, painting the pictures, And, you get to my age, whatever, you do a lot of other stuff, you're just a football fan, you got a job. And then anyway, fast forward to Yellow Board, the fans board that many of us know about last year. And it was the streams. And of course, we couldn't go to the game. And there's a guy called Vedri Hatter who put a comment on just a bit offhand saying, oh, the streams watching the game with the away commentators. Wouldn't it be great if we had like county themed commentary? If somebody would do that. And I just happened, it was a Thursday night. I was sitting with a pipe in my hand. And I thought, I want to do this. So I put on the comment, the thread. Well, and I remember what I said. I said, if people don't mind it being Geordie tinged with county themed commentary, then I'll do it. If anybody be interested in listening, and sure enough, and I think you were one of them, Nick, on Yellow Boards, who said, well, I think I'd listen to that. Yeah. So I was like, well, if 5 people listen, I'll do it. And so actually, it was the Weymouth. So again, just fast forward. The Weymouth game was the first one I did. I found like a podcasting platform. I did the Weymouth. When I say I did the Weymouth game, I commentated on the Weymouth game. I'd researched their team, all this kind of stuff. And I found that I could kind of do it. I was like, okay, I seem to be able to describe what's happening here because I didn't know whether I could. I'd commentate on the Subbuteo when I was playing Newcastle in the 1980s, But you can stop the Subbuteo game, But it was going on in front of us. So anyway, it got a nice enough reaction, but there wasn't many people listening. So I thought I purposely didn't decide to do 2 matches together to start with. The Solihull was the second one. So Solihull, I was on this new platform, Mixler, where I am now. There was maybe 50, 60 people listening, and we won 5-0. And I really enjoyed doing it. When you're in the flow of doing something, basically. And somebody put on the comments really kind of, this is like the most county thing I've seen this year because of all the kind of not going to games. So basically I did that for the rest of the season, and I commentated on all the games, and I was trying to get out there a little bit, and it's on, I've got the Twitter page, which is down there. So that's how you can find us. And I was fortunate enough to commentate on the games. And as I was doing it, so you were getting people listening in, you were getting some nice feedback. I kind of started to big it up a little bit. So I'd put a couple of records on at half time, like literally on my record player. So the sound would be bad. And I had young Geordie Hatter, Frankie, would come and have a chat with us. And he was on call comms a couple of times. and it was just funny. So then it got to the end of the season. And of course, we're going back on the ground, and that's fantastic. But of course, nobody needs commentary anymore. We've got JK, which obviously is really good, isn't he? And we've got Strawberry Radio, but I've kind of still got the radio account. And actually, I really like doing a radio show, And I have done a couple of little things in amateur ways in the past with like records and stuff on kind of on radio, internet stuff. So basically, I thought I'll do a new show. I'll do a show. I'll do Saturday mornings. It's called, so this is what people can listen to now when we're away. I'll do I keep forgetting what the name of the show is. I'll do the away day show, the county away day show. And it's on mixler.com, mixlr.com. And basically, it's usually like 9:30 or 10 o'clock start, 60 minutes or a bit more. And it's a bit like this in that it's except it's me, not three of us. There's me kind of looking forward to the game on the afternoon. And I rig it up and I have a few things. So I've got a few records. I've got the likes of this kind of indie pop stuff that I've got, which you can actually hear now because I've found a way of broadcasting it. You can actually hear it broadcast standard. And I have a few little features, like I have a feature on the actual town and what its history is that we're going to. I play a record by a musician or band from that town. What else do I do? I've got the running order here. I've had a guest. I've had Ben on from the Collects the Shirt. I'd love to have you guys on. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
And I just kind of chat about county stuff. And what else do I do? Oh, and at the end, half man, half biscuit. I've started to have. I've done it twice, but I started to have a feature at the end on like a pop song or pop band who kind of does football stuff. So Billy Bragg with God's Footballer, and then Half Man Half Biscuit this week. So it's just like an hour show, and there's not loads of people listening, but the ones who are getting into it, and it's been great to get really kind comments off you guys. So as long as there's people who are into it, I'll just kind of keep doing it, And it's hopefully, I didn't want to do a podcast. You guys do a podcast. It's like, you are the Stop Comedy podcast. But I thought a video show, how can that fit in, kind of thing. So that's what I do, and it's on. That's the Twitter handle. That's on the bottom there, and there's a platform called Mixler.com, Mixlr.com, which is basically it's a platform for amateur radio enthusiast kind of internet people to put stuff on. And actually there are non-league clubs like Torquay United, Blythe Spartans. If they haven't got their own Strawberry Radio kind of carry on going on, that's where they do their commentary. So where it'll lead to, I don't know, but that's what I do. And I just, if anybody wants to tune in, hopefully I'll be doing one next away game, which I think is 23rd of October. I wait not wherever that is. I've forgotten momentarily.
Because that's like me and Russ have said that for ages. Like, for me, particularly going to a home game or something, you used to have a build up on the radio. There used to be all sorts. And me and Russ have said for so long, like, it'd be so cool if someone was just like having a chat about counter and playing some proper top tunes. And
there you go.
Like, finally,
there you go.
Yeah.
I love to have some interaction on it. So people will comment on it because they're going to the game or just about whatever about what they're thinking about the afternoon's game. I do kind of use the whole yellow board thing. So I'll kind of report on what people are saying on yellow board. I'll put a stream. I do a poll every week. So this week's poll was, who's your first name in the team sheet? And actually that got like 150 people on Twitter. So that whole interaction. I think, if you follow if you follow a big club, you're going to get more of that, aren't you? Because there's more coverage. Like it's a cup final. You turn on the telly 10 o'clock in the morning. There's the build up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to get that kind of feeling going of like it's the start of if you want to partake. It's the start of your county day kind of thing. So it's the start of my county day. And if anybody else wants to listen, then that's fantastic.
Well, that's it for me. That's it for me. Saturday morning is bacon grilling, Soccer AM on mute because I often find that's the best way to watch it. And then Johnny Hatter's away day show. I'm
fantastic. Thank you.
It's diabolical, Ross. Have you seen it recently?
You've just hit the nail on the head, mate. Soccer
That
AM on
guy
mute.
who hosts it is 54.
Fenners.
He's 54.
I know. It's just cringe. Yeah, they've even got people going on now who don't even like football. Like Alexandra Burke was on it the other day or the other week, and I'm just thinking, who does she support? And I said to me with Mrs. I went, bet she supports Arsenal, and she said all of her brothers support Arsenal, but she supports Man United, and I just thought, fucking turn it off.
That's how you broke your telly.
Yeah,
but Jimmy Bullard's in there as well, isn't he? And then I always wonder when I see Jimmy Bullard on something, I always think like, how many calls did they make to Robbie Savage before it became clear that he wasn't going to do it? It's ring Bullard, he'll do it.
But no, it sounds good. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've only listened to one of your commentaries during streaming last season, and I've not listened to your show but I'm definitely going to. And I think there's probably an opportunity there. We'll have a chat offline about maybe something we can do together, perhaps.
Brilliant, mate. Thank you.
Because
be great.
Honestly, we've been saying
in on the production meetings again. Yeah,
we'll do it offline. We'll do it offline. But what we have been saying for ages. Well, why don't they have like an hour before and things like that? And yeah, I'm not saying we're going to do that and things, but let's just we'll have a chat about it.
Having
Nice
to put
one.
Strawberry Radio on at like 2:00, thinking, well, a team's just been announced. There'll be something on, and then
Mike and the Mechanics.
You sat to listen to Mike and the Mechanics and the Travelling Wilburys. I mean, I don't mind the Wilburys. I'm happy, but yeah, 5 to 3 it comes on, and John's having to like rush through the team news.
It's an odd one, isn't it? I don't want to, it's great that they're doing the thing, but it's like, why you got like all these presumably county fans who are going to tune into your radio station? Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah. They must be there from 2:00 as well, mustn't they? I mean, let's not get into that. The
Even
game
if
that you
have some cool people who are into the music to broadcast it, they don't even need to be in a studio at the game. Even if it was like some setup where there was a bunch of lads who could be in separate houses, like recording something, they could do something like that on the radio, but they don't ask, which is the real tragedy.
The game you're referring to on the 23rd, John, is the Notts County game.
I was thinking it probably was.
Yeah.
Right, what's a big one, isn't it? So
lots of people go into that as well. Lots of people not go into it. So yeah, that might be a good one. No, that's absolutely spot on. I like it, and I'll definitely be giving it a listen.
Thank you.
And we'll definitely share it and things. Top stuff. Anything more from you, Nick? Before we wrap up,
I think I've offered quite enough tonight. I'm done. I'm going to have a nice lie down now. I've got a week's worth of Coronation Street to catch up on. So.
Oh, fucking hell.
So I'm going to be watching Coronation Street when Will Fish could be training with Ronaldo. David Platt's going to be on the screen. It all links in together, you see. That was the start of the show. This is the end of the show. Seamless.
I like it.
Yeah. Just a reminder, we have, all being well, we've got Sam Walker on next week. Live in the County Arms. I'm saying live. I've got to test the setup and test how it's going to work and stuff like that. But hopefully we will be live.
Have you checked with your wife? Am I allowed to come to your house again?
Yeah, of course you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to check. You never know.
We're very excited that Sam Walker's coming round.
My friends' other halves don't tend to like me, so I've just wanted to check I'm still allowed. I don't have to go. I might have to get an outside broadcast van.
Yeah.
To do it
I think it's what was the word she said? Tolerated or something like that. I can't
sounds about right. Yeah.
So
she's speaking to my witnesses, hasn't she?
So Sam Walker on next week. We have got Danny Miller lined up at some point as well.
Aaron from Emmerdale.
The Darren Miller from Emmerdale.
Yeah.
Who's bought some season tickets at County, so has been going to the matches this season. So we'll get him on at some point as well.
Yeah, and I definitely won't be spending that whole hour asking him about Emmerdale. Not at all. I've already got like 40 questions, and my mum's got 6.
Well, I'll let you ask them all because I don't know anything much about Emmerdale apart from when Sarah Sugden died in a fire, I think. But anyway,
you're a bit later.
Yeah. There was a guy called Seth, right?
Yeah, he's long dead. Yeah,
I would have thought that was 40 years ago. Yeah.
He's in it when I was watching it, but I think he's If he's still kicking, get him.
Is Bernice still in it?
Probably. I don't watch it. I'm still at Coronation Street now.
Oh, are you?
Religiously. In fact,
is that all the stars of Coronation Street dancing in a competition?
If you like. Yeah.
You said Strictly Coronation Street.
Yeah. There's one of them on this year. She's on Strictly. Good old Sinead from Corrie. And she was always on Corrie. She'd be like, "Hello, I'm Sinead." And I thought, it'd be nice to see her on Strictly. And she can kind of like reveal her true personality. And she's like, "Hello, I play Sinead." You're the same person.
You sound exactly the same. Not like Hilda Ogden, who sounded like the Queen.
Exactly, yeah. Acting royalty.
Yeah.
Just got a comment in. Ian Dowden. He's listened to your pre-match show on each away game and thinks it's great. So there you go.
Thank you, Ian. Nice one. And I've seen comments from him and we're on the chat thing, so that's brilliant. Nice one, Ian. Great to have you on board. Thank you.
Ian's a true connoisseur of county fan-led content, isn't he?
And why not?
If this was like a Patreon, like he'd be in there as like an early adopter.
Yeah.
But it's not a Patreon, and it never will be.
No, it's not. This is always going to.
No,
this is free forever. This is. That's the aim anyway. So bit of parish notices before we finish up. Again, Fan Hub app, get yourself on that if you're not already. We've got over 460 county fans in the Fan Hub app, which is fantastic. Starting to reward fans as well, so hopefully that'll come soon. I don't know what that's going to look like, but sort of in dialogue with that. Read the blog. The blog's got another one. I keep on saying there's another one coming this week. There is one coming this week. I have got one lined up from Adam Sundell, think his second blog will come out this week. And if you're interested in writing just as a one-off on the blog, just give us a shout. Just let us know. Always more, willing to have them, especially on the subject of why you support county. I think the more of those we can get in, because some of them are really interesting and really wayward. So that'd be good. It's not all. It's not all that you were handed a scarf down by your father. There's some really sort of diverse ones out there. And what else is there? I think that's it. Have I missed anything, Nick?
No, but John Billsbury is very correct on his assessment of Moira in Emmerdale. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just. If anyone needs me, I'll be on. I'll be doing some private stuff on my computer on Google Images.
Yeah, on rapey.com. Yeah.
There's no need for that, is there? She's on actual Google. She's a real person. I don't need to go on these niche sites that you run.
I run.
Well, you knew the name pretty quickly, didn't you? Let's be honest.
Yeah. Right. Jonathan, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. I hope it's been a pleasure and an honor to be here. I really have enjoyed it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
No problem. Nick, as always, it's been an absolute pleasure spending some time with you.
Oh, thanks. We'll be in person next week. It's going to be great. I'm going to touch your little head.
Ooh, can't wait.
So right. That one.
Cheers, gents. See you later.